It's not a factor of your academic qualification, your certifications, or the awards that you have received. Nor is it a factor of the number of years of experience that you have in any field or area of life. Because then you become dependent on how others perceive you. Your confidence becomes conditional. Real confidence comes from knowing and realizing, who am I really? And then aligning your actions with that wisdom. Join us for a webinar on boosting your confidence, presented by Prakash Chugani, a leadership coach, trainer, and meditator, on Saturday, 31st of July 2021 on Zoom. 4 p.m. Jakarta time, 2:30 p.m. IST, 10 a.m. UK time, 11 a.m. CEST, 12 noon Kuwait.
Hello and a warm welcome to all of you. Hope all of you are doing well today. Our topic for today is boosting our confidence or boosting one's confidence. Confidence, there is a saying, is contagious, and so is lack of confidence. Often we lack confidence in ourselves because what we think is, what will people think about us, or what we believe is, what will people think about us. Perhaps others will laugh at us, complain, or make fun if we make a mistake. Thinking like this can prevent us from doing things because we believe that the consequences are too painful and embarrassing. Joining us today is Prakash Chugani from Dubai. He has more than 10,000 hours of executive development training under his belt and has inspired transformation for over 2,500 individuals across 11 countries. He has also been a meditator for more than 20 years, and he has delivered various self-help talks and facilitated seminars and conferences across the globe. So without further ado, I shall welcome him.
Thank you.
Hello and a warm welcome.
It's a pleasure and an honor, I should say. Thank you so much.
So I hand over the platform to you now.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And thanks to everybody for making it today. It's, as I said, an honor to be in front of this August gathering. You know, we say that one of the best returns of our investment is in knowledge. And so this group that is present here today has understood the value of investing in knowledge, which is why you're here today. And that's why I feel honored to be here. Whilst you could have done so many other things, this has been your choice. So congratulations and well done on that choice. Let's just make best use of the time that we're going to be together. And for that, allow me to just do a quick, I would say, grounding exercise. So that just supports us to be here and now. So just sit back, relax wherever you may be, ease yourself comfortably onto your chair, your couch. Breathe in and out deeply about 3 times. And as you do that, become aware of the temperature of the air that goes in and comes out. Become aware of the things you're hearing, you're watching, you're feeling. And so whilst you're aware of everything around you, you're not judging anything. You're not trying to analyze anything. You just are doing everything from a space of acceptance. And you're opening your mind to whatever is around you so that you're able to be here. You're not caught up in your own thoughts. Things that you've done before coming here, all right? They're over, they've finished, and now you're here. There may be a lot of things that you want to do after you leave this place. You'll attend to them later on. But the best place for you to be now is here with us together, completely available, physically and mentally. So invite yourself, get comfortable with this environment, be here fully. If you really feel there's something that's come to your mind that you want to do afterwards, which you might forget, make a note of it. And then just let that go away and have an absolutely clear mind. That's the best place to start any growth, learning, development. So just do that for yourself. And let's begin. This wonderful topic on boosting your confidence. Let me share a true story about my own self in this particular regard. This was the time when I was in school, and I remember standard 6 and 7, when I was just getting into high school. I used to stand by this place called Breeden Hall, and we'd all assemble there almost every week during a weekend in the evenings around 6:30. And we'd all anticipate and look forward to the debate competitions that would actually happen in the hall. So we'd assemble there, it starts, we're all inside, and we have this beautiful, experience with 4 debaters speaking against a topic, 4 in favor of a topic. And I would always sit there feeling, I can do this and I love this, and I want to be this person who debates with everybody else. But I just didn't muster the courage. I was not confident enough to go and do it. I was always being nagged by this thought: what happens if I fail? How will people respond and react? And I would become a laughing stock. So let me do it next year for sure. And I'm going to really practice and become better. And then I'm going to go and debate. And so 8th standard, and I go back there, Breeden Hall, I'll still stand there, in awe of everybody there. But I would never, ever go up and speak. I say, okay, next year, 9th standard, 10th standard, 11th standard, 12th, all the way, finish my school and my junior college, and I just could not do it. I remember going to college then, and it was I was doing my bachelor's. And then I said, you know what, enough is enough. Yes, I would fail, and that's what held me back. Yes, I would go up and mess up. Yes, I would do everything that I'm not supposed to do, but I must start somewhere, and I better do it now. Otherwise, I will never get a chance to do it. So I remember writing this speech, because we had a debate competition in college. I wrote the speech out. I went for this competition, and I was probably somewhere towards the last having to speak. And there was some fantastic speakers in front before me. I went on stage, I opened up my script, and I read word for word without lifting my eyes off that script. I didn't look who was in front of me, who were the people there. I just stood there, read that script out, folded it, put it in my pocket, thanked everybody, and walked away. I obviously did atrociously bad in that particular competition, but that was not the idea. The idea was for me to learn to fail and to allow myself to do that. The idea was for me to make a start. If I like something so much, I just have to put myself in that space and do it. They say that one of the best ways to overcome your fear is to face it and go and do it. That's how you'll actually overcome it, because all fear, every fear that we have, is not real. It's something that we've just created in our minds. Those ghosts, those devils, those demons, all of them are our own thoughts that we have actually created, and we've really made that so huge that we start believing that they are true, they are real, but they are not. That's why they say FEAR is false experience appearing real. They appear real. That's why it's like, it's a mirage. It's not true. So when I did that first time, I got myself on top, I read that speech, walked back. From that day onwards, there was no stopping me. There was no turning back. I would jump for every possibility to go up and speak, whether it was an elocution, a debate competition, it was an extempore that was being organized by so many other colleges, universities, different places. I would be there. I would do it, because I just got rid of that first thing. I took that first step, and then I started doing that. In the third year of my college, I was selected by my college to participate in an international competition that was actually held in the capital city of India, in Delhi, where we had universities across who would come there and participated. And of course, I didn't win there, but the fact that I was eligible enough to do that in 2 years' time of me practicing and going and doing it really opened up so many things for me. And from that on, speaking in public, learning how to communicate more effectively. And because of that, I had to study so much, read a lot. It had opened up so many avenues I never knew would be possible before. And all that it mattered was just to boost my own confidence. I knew all this while that I could do it, but I was just not confident enough because of something that I created inside my own head, which was not very nice for me. I was worried about what do people say. I was worried about what if I fail. And so for me, it was all about, I should start the first time and I must be perfect. And I think that was asking too much. That was a big ask for me. And that was not fair to myself. And so then I started seeing that when I become confident, what are the benefits of it? So what do you think would have been the benefits of me having to take that first step of confidence and starting to speak in public? It had shaped a very different career for me. I was a rank student in commerce and I was supposed to become an accountant. But then when I started doing this thing, people said, Prakash, you know what? You're not necessarily the one who's going to do number crunching all his life. I think you need to do this. This is where you actually have a lot in store for you. I said, wow, that sounds good. And I think I should take that and pursue that as a career. So it opened up new ways in terms of my career. And in a career as well, because I had this particular opportunity opened up for me, I was able to communicate effectively. And so in my career also, I was able to start doing things that others in my position were not able to do. I remember a time where I was promoted. I was an executive, and that was the first level in the organization. I was an executive, and then you have a senior executive, you have an assistant manager, general manager. And because of some of these abilities that I had, and because of an education qualification that I, gained as well, I got this triple promotion straight up to becoming a manager of a region, which was never before the case in an organization. So I just started seeing that one step of courage opened up so many opportunities for me. But also because of that, I was able to start doing things and risking things which I would have never been able to do before. It helped me overall to be confident because I said, okay, so what's the worst that can happen? I would fail. Fair enough. If I'm going to fail anyways, let's do it quickly. If I had just failed when I was in standard 7 or 8, it would have been so much better for me rather than wait to go to college and then to fail. And so it's nice for us to see how important it is for us to take that step of courage first, regardless of the result of what's going to happen. If I'm too attached to the outcome of what I'm going to be doing, that's when a lot of fear creeps in. A lot of insecurity starts coming into me. And so I'm not doing what I want to do. It also happens in relationships, right? There are relationships that are so beautiful that need to be nurtured. And I feel that comes with a very important positive energy. And there are times when there are conflicts in relationships, but we avoid those conflicts. We are not confident enough to face those conflicts. And so we just brush things under the carpet. We don't face them head on. And eventually we reach a stage where we just have to break that relationship and move on. And we say, well, I don't want to come here again because there's so many things that have built up. Why did I allow it to be built up? Because I didn't have the confidence to stand there and to say, okay, there has been a failure on my part. I've not done well over here, but I need to be confident enough to stand and speak. I need to be confident enough to allow a conflict to emerge. Otherwise, I avoid, and then I just don't tackle issues when they need to be tackled. So it can create a lot of unnecessary stuff in relationships as well. Because if I'm not communicating, if I'm not confident, if I'm not speaking the truth, then what is happening? Assumptions creep up. Misunderstandings take place. Doubt. There is a lot of, let's say, they say that one in relationships, usually it's misunderstanding that can happen in one particular side or the other. And the other one is Mr. Doubt. The misunderstanding, the version of a woman, and the Mr. Doubt, the version of a man. These two issues can really have a huge amount of problem in relationships. How do you get rid of it? Communication. And what do you need when you have to communicate effectively? You need to have the courage to stand there and say what you have to say. And so that comes from understanding that it's okay to have that conflict. What's going to happen in the conflict? Oh, some people are going to say things which I didn't want to hear, or I'm going to have to say things that I've never said before. And so there's the confidence that you need to have to stand there. There's this wonderful research that has been published in Forbes recently. And that's been, it was research on what is the most important characteristic of a leader today in an organization. This is during Corona, right? So we know that the world is very different before BC, before Corona, and DC during Corona. And so what do people really want in leaders? And on top of the list is candor, which is speaking the truth with confidence. So very important for us to have that capability, even as leaders. So as individuals, we know the benefits, it's fantastic, it's important for us. But even in the corporate world, as a leader, it's very important for me to have that confidence so that I can speak the truth and call a spade and not just run away from being confident enough to say what I have to say. Now, the question is, if we know the benefits and if it's so interesting for us to do it, let's try and understand what confidence really is. To me, confidence is all about getting rid of the chatter in the mind. There's a lot of stuff that's taking place. And freeing yourself so that you're able to allow your own magnificence to emerge. The magnificence is there, it has always been there, and it'll continue to exist inside. But there's a lot of clutter and chatter and unnecessary, let's say, I would say baggage out there, which is not allowing me to access that brilliance, that energy that will support me in expressing myself truly the way I am, without any facades, without any masks. And so that's what confidence is all about. It's about you just being who you are, nothing else. It's saying what you see. But obviously you're not saying it in the wrong place, in the wrong fashion. You're saying it in the right place. You are saying it in the right way. And so you're using your wisdom and your judgment to do it in the right fashion. But you're at least freeing yourself from all the other mess that is actually there that comes into your head. What will happen if, oh, how can I do this? What will they think about me? A lot of these things do not really allow me to get into that space of being really confident, moving forward and being myself and doing what I like a lot, and which is, close to my heart, which is aligned with my values. And that's all what confidence is all about. Now, the question is, can I differentiate this from arrogance? Because there's this thin line, and I would actually not very thin, it's quite clear actually when somebody is very arrogant vis-a-vis somebody who's confident. So what do you think is the difference between arrogance and confidence? How do you know that here's a person who's confident, but here's a person who's arrogant? I'm just giving you some opportunity to think. Okay, so Kaushik has his hand raised. How about putting it in the chat box? It probably might be good to read. It just helps others also to participate at the same time. Will that be okay, Kaushik? If you could just put that in the chat box, whilst others also have an opportunity to share something on the chat box. And I love to read this. Love to read this because this is a very important part where I know that so many of us are not being confident because we think, hey, this is kind of arrogance. People may think I am egoistic. And so they do not come out being confident with themselves. So, okay, we have Sadhika who says self-importance. So self-importance is what, Radhika? Is that arrogance or is that confidence? That's Sadhika. Kaushik, please, if you could type what you had. Rashmi says confidence is belief in oneself. Beautiful. Okay, self-belief is confidence. And how is it different from arrogance? How is it different from arrogance? Arrogance is overconfidence. Okay, close. But what is, if you can get to the root really of arrogance, what would it be? What do you think? What's the seed of arrogance? What's the seed of confidence? actually emerge from arrogance is egocentric. Okay, so what is ego? Pride. Okay, pride. Okay, showing off that I am so and so. I'm trying to do this for others. Yeah, when I'm coming from a space of arrogance, it's for others to see who I am, right? That's what pride is. Yeah, truth is confidence. Fantastic. I love that. Very nice. Truth is confidence. Arrogance is THT. We think we are smarter than the others. Very nice. Arrogance emerges from comparison. Arrogance is showing your importance to others. Very well said. Very nice. Superiority complex, which comes from, again, comparison. And I think I'm bigger than you, better than you, greater than you, smarter than you, more intelligent than you, more educated than you. I'm having a higher position. I have more wealth. I have a better car. I have a bigger, I have the most latest mobile. Wow, I got the best version. Do you see this mobile versus yours? Okay, arrogance. I'm better than the other. Confident. Everyone's unique. Well said. That's so beautifully said. Arrogance is only thinking about the self. Okay, being very self-centric is arrogance. Nicely put. Self-confidence is when you can actually be available for others, and you're coming from a space of probably supporting and making a difference, versus arrogance is all about me, myself, and I. Nicely put. Confidence gives confidence gives value and strength to the soul. Arrogance makes one forceful and domineering and out of our own personal interest. Fantastic. Okay, Kaushik, thank you. For many years, I've studied Gandhi, and I believe conviction in deep belief is fundamental. Very nice. For many years, of a student of Gandhi. Okay, arrogance is misunderstanding, misusing confidence. Oh, fantastic. I like that. Nice way of putting it. Misusing your confidence, using it only for yourself, using it so that everybody praises me and appreciates me, and I get all those accolades, and I'm always in the limelight. I steal the limelight, right? That becomes arrogance. Fantastic. Well said. So for a person who's self-confident, thanks for all your answers. Let's move forward. Thank you. For a person who's self-confident, for a person who's confident, really the root is understanding the self, knowing who I truly am, and allowing that person to really emerge and to be available for the self, and more than anything else for others. So that I'm available. This is who I am. I know myself, and this is what I can do. And so I'm available to doing that for everybody. If I was not confident, if I was in that shell, I'm just holding myself, and I'm not allowing myself to be available to somebody else. I'm so good at something. I can entertain somebody. I could do something beautiful for somebody. I can feed somebody the best of food. I could do so many wonderful things, but hey, I'm not confident. And so when I'm confident, I am myself. I am available. I'm there to serve. I'm helpful. I'm cooperative. All those beautiful things. Whereas if I'm arrogant, then the root of arrogance is false belief of myself and an image that I want others to see. It's a projection. It's not a fact. It's not a reality of who I am. It's who I would like others to see me as. That's where arrogance comes from, which is why arrogance is empty, really. There are people who want to project an image, and they probably are very successful in projecting that image. And they will show so many things that they're doing, and they get all those, accolades and praise and appreciation and respect from many people. But deep inside, because they don't have that true confidence, it doesn't stem from who they are, they can get hurt very easily. They can crumple very fast, very sensitive. And so the moment something hits them on the external, you can sense a way of being defensive, a way of wanting to be aggressive, or being brash, or being rude, of putting someone down. And how dare you say that? How dare you do this? So you really feel threatened and insecure when you're coming from a space of arrogance and ego. Whereas from confidence, it's a very calm, deep strength, a power and a force that nobody can take away from you. And you're not really caring so much about what people are saying. You're not trying to hold and protect and be defensive and all those stuff. So you're confident, you know yourself. It comes from a deep realization of yourself, from truth. And so you don't have to prove yourself to other people. In arrogance, you're constantly trying to prove. So there's a huge amount of energy that you spend just to prove yourself constantly, time and again. And you are waiting for that feedback to come back and tell you, yes, 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 that's who I am. That's when you feel, oops, thank God. Okay, so I'm in the right direction. So that's what you're always seeking to have. Whereas in confidence, you're calm, you're collected, you're in self-control, and you're moving forward. You're going towards a direction. You're still very, having your aims. You're having those goals to achieve, and you're confidently moving. You may go wrong. It's okay. I get feedback. Somebody tells me something fantastic. Let me go back and do some soul searching, come back, retrack and move forward. So I'm able to separate the message from the messenger, right? But if I was arrogant, I can't make that difference. The moment you give me feedback and tell me something, if I was arrogant, I not listen to you. Who are you to say that to me? Well, why do you worry about that? Just take the message, right? If you're truly confident about yourself, you will take the message. You will not worry about the messenger, and you'll not mix the two. And then you'll not victimize the person who said those things to you. You'll be more gentle with them. You will be more accommodating. You'll take that and you'll appreciate. So in true self-confidence, there's humility. So if you see, truly speaking, if you're not self-confident, there's a great chance that you're egoistic. Self-confidence and humility go together, right? Having the wrong idea of yourself and ego go together. And what also goes along with ego is jealousy. You can also be, because it's one thing is about you knowing yourself, which means that you don't feel you're greater than anybody else. At the same time, you don't think you're lesser than somebody else as well. So you don't operate from either having that superiority complex, nor you operate from an inferiority complex. And those two areas are very important for you to realize. The moment you get into those two spaces, you should just retrace yourself and say, hey, you know what? I'm not being confident. I'm operating from some other space, which is not very fruitful to me, which is not supporting me or anybody else. And so then we need to move back. Okay, so now let's look at, well, I'm just looking at a comment which says that it's probably an over-exaggeration of your own self. But more than being an over-exaggeration of your own self, it's the false idea and the false belief of yourself. A belief that you want others to be able to see more than anything else. So I'm running that race, I'm moving those things, I'm pushing for those things just because I want others to see me that way. And so I'm not so worried about who I truly am. I'm worried about what others think I am. That's what arrogance, that's where it stems from. And that's when it really starts getting into those spaces. Let's look at a few things that we can do to support me in becoming more confident. And whilst we're going through all these things, it's very nice for us to see how I can learn a beautiful methodology of self-awareness with detachment. All right. So it's important for us to see ourselves whilst we are not judging ourselves. Non-judgmental awareness. We've got to develop the skill, a very important skill. It's a beautiful skill that we've got the best of leaders in the world that have. They're able to see themselves. They are able to see their weaknesses. They're able to see their strengths, but they don't get swayed by it. They don't get moved by it. They don't start judging themselves and get to berate themselves, constantly looking at themselves. Oh, this is a problem with me. Going deeper into that and getting lost in that particular emotion of, I'm not good at this. So I can still be aware, look at myself, but I don't go into that space of hurting myself. Or at the same time, I might have some strengths with me, but I'm not projecting it in a way that I'm comparing that with others and starting to feel that I'm superior. So a non-judgmental awareness stage is important for us. A very important stage for us that helps me to detach myself from things that are happening around me, things that I'm able to see. Because if I'm not having this non-judgmental awareness, I stop seeing the real picture. So the picture is not far away from us. It's not something that is something I've got to learn and study and read about myself. It's there for me to see. I know who I truly am to a large extent, but I need to stop judging myself, to really allow myself to, okay, to make myself bare and to see who I truly am. Non-judgment and kindness. So let's just create that space before we enter into the other. I'm going to share 3 beautiful ideas that will support me in becoming far more confident than I ever was before, which stem from truth, right? And then with each, we're going to do a small exercise to embed that into ourselves, and something that you can carry forward with you and do every single day, right? They say that something takes time to develop, and so does confidence as well. Whilst it is a fact of who you are, and there's nothing to worry about, but still there's a practice, because we've got some old patterns and habits that we've created over a period of time, and so we've got to really change those. Some re-engineering and rewiring of the brain. So it takes a little time, but it's possible. And so those 3 tools are going to be also along with certain exercises that will support me in making that strong and up there. So let's just first get into the space of non-judgmental awareness. So sit back, relax yourself, be easy, take a few breaths deeply inside and out. And a beautiful way to become aware of yourself without any judgment is this word acceptance. I accept everything as they are, knowing that there is goodness in everything. There is a reason for the way things have been constructed and built. I may not understand whatever is happening in my life. I may not understand the reason for all these events. And so many things may seem to be big mistakes, great mistakes that I've done. But there's a certain reason why they're actually there in my life. And usually the only way to connect those dots is when I look at them backwards. So for some, there may be meaning, but some I may not have figured it out yet. So rather than berating myself and beating myself up for things that have gone wrong in my life, for certain weaknesses that I might possess, let me just emerge this space of acceptance. So I detach myself from the weaknesses and know that I'm not my weakness. I'm separate from it. I'm not all those achievements. I'm not all those add-ons in my life. I'm not all those possessions and positions. I'm separate from all of them. And so try and see how I can detach myself from all these things that are happening around me. Realize that I am separate from what's around me. So there's this I, and there's a my. So I may call them my possessions, my position, my roles, even my thoughts. But I am separate from them. Okay, so with that idea and a quick way of suggesting to yourself that, hey, you know what? I am separate from our weaknesses. I'm separate from all those additions and all those things. Let's try and see if I can create a space where I'm comfortable to look at those weaknesses without being threatened by them. Look at those weaknesses without feeling guilty, without harming and hurting myself, right? Fair enough, they exist. But there also exists this huge volume of positivity, huge volume of positivity. Right? So when I detach, then I have this wisdom to choose what I want to see, when I have to see them, how long do I want to see these things for. And there's a purpose behind us seeing those things. Because it's important for us to know where I'm paying my attention. Let's do a small exercise within the room where you are right now, wherever you may be sitting. I just want you to observe things around you that are blue in color. Everything that's blue, light blue, dark blue, that's all right. But whatever is blue, just want you to look around and start observing things that are blue. Okay. Whatever you think you find is blue, please look around. Take a moment. Now, all of a sudden, you probably didn't know that there are so many blue things around you. Okay? You just became aware of it. And once you were aware of blue, you never actually would have noticed things that are green. So now go back and see things that are green. Go back and look at things that are green and you'll say, oh yes, there are quite a beautiful things around that are actually green in color, which I'd never noticed before when I was looking at blue. But that's the power of your focus. That's the power of attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. Where energy flows, life grows. Where would you want your life to grow? In the space of those few things that people have told about you, which may or may not be right. Weaknesses which really are not yours, but have been acquired over a period of time. Vis-a-vis the true, genuine, magnificent, brilliant person that you are internally as being, that you need to start really focusing on. So that's what we're going to do now. The first thing that we're going to do is we realize and understand, I am unique. So despite some infirmities, I am unique, I am special. Very important. I'm not comparing myself with others. I'm not saying I'm better than somebody else, but I'm unique. What about others? Others are also unique, which means in that space, we're all equal. We're all equal. We're all unique. We're equal. But yet we are different. We are different. Equal, yet different. So we have our own uniquenesses. We have our own specialities. But I still have mine. I definitely have mine. And I feel unique. I feel special. I am different. Others are different. So if I look at myself as a person who's unique and I start appreciating other people's uniqueness, imagine for a moment, how will I be with my relationships? You know, one of the things that happens in relationships is where we do see misunderstanding. There could be misunderstandings, there could be doubts, but largely what happens in relationships is, we start looking at things that people have that I don't have. And then I start wanting to be like the other person. I try to emulate, try to copy. I start looking at what they have, and then tomorrow I also want those things. And there's this kind of a race in the wrong spirit that starts taking place. And before I realize it, I've been running that race and I did not really want all those things, but just because I had been so focused on others that I forget really what I wanted myself. And then there's this, midlife crisis that suddenly happens and say, really, I've got all these things in my life, but I'm not happy. I've got all these things, but I don't really feel content inside. So it's very important for us to pause and to understand and look at myself as this one who's unique, who's special, and start reflecting on what is that uniqueness that I am? What am I really built for? What is my unique purpose? If I'm over here on this earth, what is it that I'm here for? Because whoever it is, now I'm also a coach that I've been doing this coaching with various people, personal, professional, people who are, from homemakers to CEOs of organizations. Now, when we're doing this coaching, everybody comes up with a very unique purpose, very different, very unique about what they have as their core qualities, their values. So for some, it could be, I'm this person who's very empathetic, who's compassionate, who's loving. I'm this person who's very respectful. I'm the person who's very accurate with things that I do. I'm very organized. I'm a person who's truthful, who's honest, who is this, that, and the other. So we all have our uniquenesses, specialities. So it's very important for me to know and to tell myself that I am unique. And this uniqueness has nothing to do with what you have acquired, which is temporary outside of this world. It's to do with you inside in terms of your qualities, your values, your virtues, your characteristics. That's the uniqueness that you have. You can express that in so many different ways, But understand that beneath all the stuff that is visible, that you've acquired and you've added on, internally, each and every one of us are unique. We all have our qualities. And I'm sure, what is it that, just kind of reflect back at your own life. What is it that people have come to you and always appreciated you for? That's one thing, that way of, that's probably a talent or a skill that you have. But look at your own actions and start seeing, what are some of those things that I feel most comfortable doing? That seems like second nature to me. It happens so easily. For some, it's a struggle. They just don't know how to do it. But for me, it's such an easy thing. Something that I usually bring in the environments that I go into. Could be my colleagues, my people, my friends, my family. Those things, I really bring this most of the time. Sometimes people see it, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they may appreciate it, sometimes they don't. But there is a uniqueness there, and I need to be aware of it. I need to remind myself that I am unique. I am unique. You then start accommodating other people. Because if I don't feel I'm unique, then the moment I see uniqueness in others, which is possible, then I start getting threatened. I start thinking, oh, I'm not that way. I wish I could be that way. I start comparing. And so then my confidence goes out of the window. But the moment I understand that I am unique, just as anybody else, you're unique, fantastic. You do that extremely well. Brilliant. You know what? I also am unique. I do something else extremely well. I'm very, very strong in a certain value. I have a very strong character in this particular space, and I'm unique. So when I start understanding myself as being unique, then I'm accommodative. I'm able to have more confidence because, hey, I'm unique, you're unique, you do something fantastic, but I have a certain way of doing it and I can come forward and doing it. I can tell you this one experience of mine when I actually lost my own space of being unique. So I usually I'm a good facilitator, and I have my own style of facilitating programs. And I remember coming for a conference in Oman, in Muscat. And there you had two other senior facilitators who were extremely good in the way they actually facilitated. And I remember the moment I came in front of them, we actually designed the whole program. And then they said, so Prakash, what are the parts that you like to facilitate? I just took myself back and said, no, you know what? You guys are great. Go ahead and do the facilitation yourself. I don't want to be there. And then I suddenly realized, I mean, sometimes you don't realize it immediately that this is what it stemmed from. I was really making myself believe that if somebody is better and good, let them do it. Why do I have to do it? But later on, I stopped and I pondered and I saw myself. I said, you know what, Prakash? In noticing the uniqueness of others, you had forgotten your own uniqueness. You also bring a certain uniqueness that they may not be able to bring. So then I went back the next day and said, you know what, is it okay if I actually take this part? They came back saying, of course, we definitely want you to do that because, you know, there's this particular flavor that you bring, Prakash, that's very different from what we would bring. And so we feel so thankful that you actually came up and said you want to do that. We were hoping that you do that yesterday. So it's so easy to forget your uniqueness and to lose your confidence when you just look at other people in terms of what they are good at. So it's important to do both. You look at other people, they are good at those things, and start looking at your own confidence and knowing that I'm also, looking at your own uniqueness, the speciality, and then allow it to come, allow it to merge. All right, so here's the exercise. Here's the exercise. This exercise is an exercise for the mind, right? How do you tune your mind to actually start working on this particular idea? So here's a stew. Here's a wonderful idea. So relax yourself. Either make the mind completely fully available here, right now in the present. So if you're distracted, that's okay. It's normal. Gently invite your mind back to this place you're sitting. I'm aware of myself as a very unique being. There's nobody else like me. And I am not like anybody else. I am who I am. Very different. Very special. Everyone else also unique and special. Very different. I respect where they are I respect their uniqueness. I also respect my own uniqueness. So I just take a pause and look inside, and I appreciate some of those values that so easily emerge, that I feel very often, very naturally. And I sense that right now. Certain things that I stand for, that I've always stood for. Those are the values that I demonstrate always, in my thoughts, in my words, in my deeds. And so let that value emerge right now. Feel that value, that quality, that speciality inside you. And let it emerge and just experience it right now. And let it grow inside. Understand what's the meaning of that quality. Understand how special that quality is. What a difference it makes to yourself and to other people, really. Even though you may not be able to express it every time, but you've done it many times, or sometimes, but it is there, like that brilliant diamond inside you. And you are that special. So focus on your speciality and understand that I am unique. All right, wonderful, wonderful. So some of you might have been able to access that uniqueness, that speciality, that lovely quality that you really bring. But believe me, you have it. Even if you've not experienced it right now, you have it. It just needs to probably, sometimes, the mind is so preoccupied, it's difficult for us to silence it and to really access that beautiful space inside. It's just a matter of remembering those wonderful things you've been doing, because that uniqueness of yours comes out in words and actions. And it's something that you constantly keep thinking about. So please start getting more and more in touch with it. Sometimes we're so dissociated from it that it becomes difficult for us to experience it. But you start reflecting every day, journaling, and seeing how you can come closer to it. All right, the second idea is I am powerful. I am powerful. This comes after you understand that you're unique. Once you know that I'm unique, I'm special, I accommodate people who are unique and special. The next idea is I am powerful. I know what is good for me, and I have the power to choose that direction that is best for me. I know what's great for me. I know what's fantastic for me. I know what's good for me. And I have the power to choose my thoughts, my words, my actions, and to align myself in that direction which is best for me. And I am powerful. So I am good. What is good for me? Okay, I'm unique. And one of my uniquenesses would be being effective in communicating. Okay, so I'm unique. I understand that. Very important for us to know now that I'm powerful enough to choose, to make those choices. And so there's no victim mindset. I'm helpless. The environment is like this. What can I do? I was in such a school that nobody gave me an opportunity. I was in this college that never happened this way, this, whatever. No, I have the power. I am powerful, which means that I'm resourceful to find ways. I'm creative enough to know how to do it. I'll find the way. The moment I believe that I'm powerful, immediately things will open up for me. Because then I'm the master, not the victim. I make choices. Just as you choose what you want to eat, you choose what you want to wear, you choose where you want to go out and dine. We choose, we make choices, and I'm powerful enough to make those choices. But I'm also powerful enough to make the choices internally. Right now, what do I want to think about? My weakness and then feel very, weak, terrible, and then lose everything? Or I am powerful enough to choose the best thought right now. So I was in this huge conference, right? There are about over 500 people in that hall. And I'm going to walk up on stage and speak to these people. What is a thought that will come into my mind? I've never done 500 before. First time 500 people. I've done 50, 60. 500 people in the hall. All of a sudden, I'm going up on stage. What's the thought that will come to my head? Well, actually, there's no thought that will come to my head. There are thoughts that I will create myself. Remember, it's very important to realize I am the creator. That's what I am powerful means. I am the creator. Right? I'm the creator. So what's the thought I create? I say, oh, one of the possibilities is there are 500 people. Oh my God, that's quite a tough one because I've never done it before. How am I going to do this? And then I'm going to think about all the things that I've done before and all the things I've not done before. And it's not going to be helpful. But I am powerful. So I can choose what I want to think right now. Wow, what an opportunity. 500 people I can make a difference to. Wow, amazing. So I'm feeling so nice about my, I've made a difference for 50 and 60 people. Now I have this beautiful privilege and I thank the Almighty for it. And in fact, I remember doing this actually. Initially, I know there was a little jitter in me, but I quickly was able to understand that I changed my thoughts and said, wow, I'm an instrument. I'm an instrument over here who's going to be able to make a big impact and a difference to so many people. And so then I stepped up and I made that choice. And that's the power that we all hold, the power to choose what we want to think, where we want to think, how we want to think. So when you know what is good for you, if you want confidence, what's your thought that you should create? A good thought, powerful thought, a thought in the direction of your strength, in the direction of who you truly are, not in the direction of things that you don't want to actually create at that point. So create the best thought. And so I remember the moment I created that thought, that I was an instrument of the Almighty and I'm here to support 500 people. And I stood there. I mean, there was confidence complete from the head to the toe. So that's an important part, very important part. Okay, so let's create this very quickly. Let's kind of do a small exercise to allow us to create this power, right? And to, at least to experience this power inside. So I want you to just sit back, sit down where you are, be where you are, and visualize it. This is a beautiful visualization experience. Visualize that you're standing on a platform, a railway platform, where on both sides of the platform, you have trains arriving and departing. You are just observing those trains coming and going, arriving, departing. You're not holding them, you're not catching them, you're not worried about them, you're not anxious about them. You just watch those trains come and go. Now just turn that around and look at yourself standing on the platform of your mind, watching thoughts like trains arriving and departing. You don't hold them, you don't judge them, you don't question them. You're not worried about them. They just come, there's a thought that comes, it goes, let it go. Another thought arrives, you're watching it, smiling, it goes away. So just developing this habit of being able to be the master, one who's powerful enough to watch the thoughts come and go. And then now you have this opportunity, once you're doing that, allowing those thoughts, now I'm going to create the thought that I want to create at this moment. And the thought I'm creating is, I am powerful. I am the master of my mind. I have the capacity to watch my thoughts and to entertain it if I want to. If I don't want to, I let it go. And I also can create a thought that I feel is most important right now. I am confident. I have all the resources inside me to face everything outside of me. Everything. There is nothing outside me that I cannot take care of. I am powerful, resourceful, strong. I'm the master. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Last thought. Very important one. I am not what you think I am. That's the third one. What is the first one? The first one is I am unique. Second one is I am powerful. So uniqueness is about knowing that I'm special, which is a fact. Getting down to it, seeing who it is that I am truly, getting that special. Powerful. I'm the one who chooses, who creates. I'm not a victim. All right. Second one. Third one. I am not what you think I am. Many people are always seeking approval of others. So how do I do? I remember these two people who used to cook. All right. They would cook food for others, for the guests. One person would always cook and they serve the food immediately. What she would say is, I know that salt is a little too less, I mean, there's too much of spice in it, right? The moment, every time the person serves the food, always picks up a fault about it. Now, the other side never even thought of it, but the moment you said it, then I said, yes, I didn't notice, but now that you say it, I think, yes, the salt is too less. Now I think the spice is too. So I mean, not confident, but I want that approval. So what I really want is I want them to tell me that I'm good, and the salt is good, so it's fine. But this is how they kind of keep asking, seeking approval. There's the other person who cooks food, serves it, just goes out and say, wow, enjoy a meal. And I'm enjoying my meal as well. I mean, it doesn't even seek feedback. Tell me, do you like it? How is it? Is it nice, tasty? Nothing. Somehow there's this thing inside us that we constantly want to seek approval from others. And it's become a habit in everything I do, everything I want to be. Only if I get that approval do I think I'm good enough. If I don't get the approval, I think I'm not good enough. And so approval becomes synonymous with my confidence. Approval is there, I'm confident. Approval not there, I don't feel confident. So one very important habit I want to let go of today, just drop it. Simple, just drop it. I don't want approval. I don't want approval. Please, I have the humility to seek feedback and people can tell me who I am. I'll separate the message from the messenger. I'll take the message on. I'll see how I can definitely. But I don't want constant approval. And approval does not mean that's who I am. I should start trusting my own self in terms of who I truly am. I must know my uniqueness. And from that space of uniqueness and from the space of being powerful, I'm ready to accept people's feedback. But if I'm empty inside and if I'm only seeking approval, and that's what I'm going to build my entire identity out of, then that will be ego. That will be a false image, an identity which is not factual. So I'm not who you think I am. All right, so let's close with that meditation, a very quick one. Let's sit back, relax yourself, turn your thoughts inside. And realize that there's only one person who knows yourself, who knows who I am, truly, deeply, and that's my own self. And so I'll get in touch with myself, my uniqueness, my speciality, because I'm the only one who can feel it. And so from that uniqueness, I choose what I want to be, what I want to say, what I want to think, how I want to express myself. And that's going to be my identity and my anchor. That's what I'm going to express. I'm not going to hold an identity of what others feel or believe I am. That's not going to be my identity. And so I'm constantly going to check myself in terms of who do I think I am? Is it what others tell about me? Or is it I knowing my own uniqueness? And I stem from that space. That's who I truly am. Temporarily, I may be doing certain things wrong. I might have made mistakes. I might have failed. Fair enough. But who am I really? I'm still that special person that doesn't go away. That's permanent. The truth never changes. So sit back, enjoy yourself, knowing who you are. And bring that uniqueness everywhere you go. With that, I'd like to thank you for your audience.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. I'm sure all of us would be in agreement that we have so much that we need to practice on what you have shared today, so much that we are going to carry and work on to become more confident. I like what you said, that fear isn't real. It is false appearance appearing real. Is it? Is that what you said?
False experience, or false
sorry.
education sometimes appearing real.
Okay, that's a good one. So this is what I'm going to take with me. And also the 3 points that you shared, that I am unique or I am special. I am powerful. So I have, the choice is in my hands. We have the power to choose. And I am not what you think I am. That's beautiful. Because like you said, we are always looking for constant validation. So what we need to do is highlight our strength and learn from our weaknesses and mistakes. We often dwell on things that we are not happy with from our past, making them bigger, into a bigger issue than they actually are or they need to be. And these negative thoughts can be very damaging to confidence and our ability to achieve goals. Hearing you sharing with us today reminded me of a saying that I had read once. Confidence is one of the main characteristic of charisma. Charisma. So this is what it is. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much. We have a few questions. I shall read them out to you. I think some of them were posted much earlier, so you may have already addressed them. However, I'll just read it out to you in case you need to add something. I was afraid to fail in the exams I once did, but then instead of gaining confidence and being fearless, I get scared and nervous every time I face an exam or a quiz. How can I overcome this?
Yeah, thank you. Fear of failure is a very big aspect that holds us back from being confident. And fail frequently, fail fast, fail forward. Simple. Nobody would have done things and achieved things if they had not failed. Every single person in the world today who's achieved anything in life, they've actually gone through a series of failures. So please understand that and realize that the importance of failing. And so please fail fast. Go ahead and do it and fail. So when I wanted to do public speaking, I was fear of failure. I went and failed on purpose and I failed miserably. That's perfectly fine. But what do you learn from that failure? Take that feedback, quickly come, alter your way of doing things and improve and go forth from it. So please go and fail and come back and learn from those failures, go back and change something. And so that's what I say, fail frequently, fail fast, but fail forward. That is, you learn and move forward.
Thank you. We have a question from the Indonesian YouTube link. I'll try and make it as precise, the translation. It says here that, how do I build my confidence again, because my confidence, I feel, is totally shattered?
Okay. I think it's important for you to take time out for yourself. Very important, take time out for yourself and do some soul searching. When I say soul searching is, as I said, all of us are unique. There's not a single person in this world who doesn't have a uniqueness. They say even, I mean, forget human beings, but other things also, everything that we find in front of us, whether it's your phone or your glass or a bottle or water or, the sun, everything under the sky and above the sky has a purpose, has a uniqueness, has something about them that is very special. You are special. Sit down, forget the chatter, forget what others have said, forget failures, forget your weaknesses. Go into your uniqueness. What is it that you're unique? What's the specialty? You have those qualities in you. You've got certain virtues in you. You may be that sweet person, the polite person, the one who's peaceful, who's loving, who's kind, something wonderful. Just let that emerge and value it, please. Value yourself. Go and see who you are, start valuing it, and you'll start feeling confident. See how you can express that. That's all.
Okay, another question from YouTube. Thank you very much. Excellent insights, much needed one. Is awareness enough, or do we have to change our false limiting beliefs?
Yeah, so I think right awareness will automatically let that go off. Your right awareness is important. Be truly aware of yourself in terms of who you are, in terms of our uniqueness, in terms of specialty, our values, our qualities. Awareness, it says ART. Awareness is not just enough, but also from the awareness, there has to be realization. And that's the ART. Aware, you become aware of it, but then you have to realize it. Otherwise, I sit with yourself, be more there. So you become aware and then you realize it. Once you realize it, nobody can take you away from it. They say realization and experience is the best teacher. Realization is about the experience of that uniqueness. Once you have experienced it and you've realized it, then there's transformation. And then you'll start seeing that you're growing in that direction more and more. So aware, realize, and transform. So limiting beliefs will go away. So focus more on your uniqueness, and then those will move off away from you.
Okay, we have our last question. It's a rather lengthy one. Prakash, by heaps of congratulations on your highly successful life journey. Am I right in thinking that the focus of your work is to empower already highly successful corporations and individuals therein? Do you think there could be an imbalance that even Baba, I think he has taken knowledge of the Brahma Kumaris here, as the Lord of the poor, would find questionable unless there is genuine inclusivity and a desire to address widespread inequality? Are we not only maintaining an unjust status quo or creating karma that will need to be settled?
Hmm. Thank you. I think that's good, a good question, and it definitely is something that I'd love to take as a message for myself to do some soul searching. Whether I am this person who is only trying to serve those who are at those levels, or am I really available to everybody in the world? I always thought I'm available to everybody, and I usually do that. I am. So currently, I'm doing a course on meditation for a beautiful group of villagers from South India. So I think I have learned to, I mean, not just serve one clan of people, but everybody. And I think I'm available for all, and I believe I am. My work takes me to different places, and I actually have a job, I have a business, and so I would work with corporates. That's where the business would usually work for me. So that's on one hand. But in terms of my availability, my service, in terms of my offering of my uniqueness, I feel it's there for everybody, and it's available. I don't stop it from going to any certain place or channelize it only in one direction. But that's a nice point. Very well said. And I think I'd like to take it on board and certainly reflect more on it.
Thank you. Suddenly we have some more questions. Do you have a few minutes?
I'm okay. If you're all fine, I'm perfectly okay. Yes.
Okay. How can we increase confidence of elderly people during this pandemic, during this COVID-19? And as we have seen that a lot of lives have been lost. So how do we bring up, I think what is being asked here is that with age, we tend to lose our confidence level.
Mhm.
And this pandemic has definitely shaken up a lot of confidence of a lot of people. So how do we help others to elevate their confidence or bring up their confidence once again? What should we
Thank
do?
you. Thank you. Javeen, I think what the pandemic has done is it's broken our ego, not our confidence. If we truly had confidence, it would have not gone at all. Confidence cannot be broken. Your ego will be shattered. So if you thought you were confident, it may be that I was egoistic about a few things in life, and suddenly I realized that that's not valuable. It doesn't really work for me. So we've all had, and we've been built and living in these so many towers of ours that we constructed, and suddenly the pandemic has shown us that what have you been thinking about yourself so far? That's not you. So it's a good way for me to stop now and say, hey, really, who am I? And to really understand that if you know who you are, where you're coming from, what your purpose is, your confidence should not actually be hurt. It should be as it was. In fact, you should start learning and understanding the truth that this is what is most valuable now. And that's what the pandemic started showing me. What is true, what is truly valuable. It's you, who you are, the way you bring those values out in relationships with people and not compromising on those values. That's what the pandemic is teaching all of us. That for the sake of just my, the taste of my tongue, I would do this just because I want to show something to somebody and prove something. I probably hurt people because I get too busy doing things which may not be so necessary. I, compromise in relationships. Today, pandemic has taught me to change those things and to really trust my own self, my values, my character, intrinsically who I am. That's what is most important, because if I was not there, then there's a lot of anxiety and stress, and there's huge amount of depression that happens. So I think that's what we have to take.
That's very nice. We have one question on YouTube again. Are there any tools to find our own uniqueness so that we can differentiate between skills and uniqueness?
Yeah. So there are various ways to doing that. Usually, we do that through coaching. Usually we do that through learning. We do that through education. But the best way to doing that is to, so one quick way, let me just see something I do very often is I ask people to think about anything in nature that they connect and resonate with. And so they think, okay, I like the sun. So what are the qualities of the sun that makes it what it is? So the sun is, gives warmth. It's able to nourish people. It's able to take out the darkness. And so somehow you don't realize that when you're actually liking all these things in nature, those qualities are in you. I'm very warm. I'm this person who likes to take darkness out of people. I'm the person who, I don't remember the third quality. But anyway, so what I'm saying is that there are these qualities that are in us. So just sit down, do some visualization, think of a few things that you've been doing in life. Sometimes it's also, look at just go back and see your life in terms of how you've been in the last 5 years. What are some of the things that you've been doing, that you've been liking? You've really liked yourself. You feel that was aligned with something inside. And so just start reflecting on those things and patterns and see how life has been for you. See what you like to continue doing more of in your life. Look at yourself 5 years from now. Look at yourself 10 years from now in the future and say, okay, 10 years from now, if I was to look at Prakash, at myself, what sort of place I want to live in, and what do I really want to stand for? What will be the message I want to give to the world? If at all there's one message I want to give to the world, what will that be? Yeah, so I think those are certain good exercises for me to do to just try and understand truly what I value. Sometimes I remember this is Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits. He says, go back and look at yourself. You're dead, and there are 4 people who are very near and dear to you who are talking about you. Prakash was this. So what are the words you want to hear them to say in terms of the legacy you want to leave behind? So that's what you value most. So there's so many exercises that we can actually think about.
Okay, I think we'll close with this last question, is that how do we bring out confidence in children or students in school? This may be from a parent or from a teacher.
Fantastic. I think this is the two. I am unique. I am powerful. I am not what you think I am. These are the 3 things I need to learn, adopt myself, and teach our children the same things. But sometimes we're kind of comparing them, contrasting them, criticizing them. We kind of do those things which are very worldly in terms of whatever they're going through, and that's what we kind of measure them against. And we probably speak about success. Success means reaching this place, doing this thing, achieving that. And so then we are really giving them a very different, we appreciate those things. So they come back, they've actually got some very good marks. I'm really appreciative. They don't get good marks. So what am I saying is, you shouldn't be failing. Failure is not for you. So I've got to learn these things, adopt it in my life, and then slowly see how I can help them learn it as well, through my actions, through what I really appreciate, through the way I kind of, bring them up in life. So I need to let them fail. I need to allow them to know that it's perfectly going to fail as long as you learn a lesson. What have you learned from your failure? Rather than, why did you fail? Why did you not do this better? So, okay, what was it that you picked up from there? So those are things that I got to learn. And I must not compare them to others. And I should let them know that you are unique and special. And I don't berate anybody else. I say, well, they are also special and unique. What is it that you see in them that's special and unique? And also helping them to know that they are the ones who choose everything in their lives. And whatever that comes to them is because of the consequences of their choices. So these are things that we got to teach them. And once we do that, they will also start learning to be more confident. They'll start loving themselves more. They'll start appreciating themselves. And they'll also live with other people in a much better fashion.
Thank you. I think the beauty of children is that they just learn from examples. So what we do and how we go about ourselves with our circumstances and situations, I think that's the best example or teachings that we can give them. Thank you very
True.
much. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank
And thank you, everyone. I've dropped my number for the upcoming session. We have a session on the 14th of August. Do drop me a message so that I can update you with the details. And until then, stay confident, stay safe, and stay blessed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.